All right, we are live again. Con te, Gnomo, e con voi, everybody.
Con te, con voi everyone.
Welcome, everyone. So, we are in our 14th episode of the Damanhur Talks. It's already quite a long journey together, and today we have decided to dedicate another episode to Falco Tarassaco, the founder, the inspirator, the visionary behind the Damanhur. So, as always, if you have all the questions, questions or situation or experience that you want to share or ask in the chat, you are super, super, super welcome. And as always, I ask you to leave a like to this video, to this live stream. These help us to grow and to reach many, many other people like you that are listening, in order to share and touch really many, many, many other people that want to listen to this content. So, Gnomo, second episode, talking about Falco. We will try together to cover and face other aspect of the Falco experience, of his message, of what he left, also of your relationship with him, in order to go to something that has really touched you in your life. And I want to begin with a question that is very connected with you and with one of, let's say, one of the passion that Falco has got, that is the interest about science, about physics, about what we call the spiritual physics, and about, let's say, the interest on how the universe work, what are the laws behind the universe function. Can you please share with us some of, let's say, the experience that you had with him talking about the topics? What was his mindset, his point of view, how he faced it and approached this field of the knowledge, and what can really be interesting to share in this episode?
Yes. First of all, thank you very much for this question because it's a part of my life. It's a very important part of my life, this research. And it is especially because of my relationship with Falco, because I have the chance to talk with him, to discuss with him many aspects about this story. First of all, it was, I think, the most important aspect of Damanhur that touched me deeply, because I'm not, to be very honest, I'm not a spiritual guy. I came from um, um, scientific preparation, and in my entire life, I doesn't really develop a deep connection with rituals and so on. Instead, okay, on the other hand, Falco, especially in the 80s, started to describe many aspects related to rituality, to religion, to spirituality, to magic, to alchemy, using the approach and the language of physics. And it was for me an enlightenment. It was for me, so I finally understood, okay, I really understood how I can be useful for Damanhur and how I can be connected with Damanhur, because there is a language that is understandable for me as a scientist, that is also completely matching all the aspect of rituality, religion, and so on. So for me, was a real enlightenment, because this aspect of Falco became for me the preferred channel of communication with him. We spend a lot of time to talk together about aspect about the first of all the relationship between the myth of creations, all the all the traditions from many different civilizations of the past. So something that today you can't talk into the university, but completely and harmoniously connected with physics.
Wow.
A key that helped me to understand why I was doing, for example, a specific ritual without, a spiritual language, without talking only about because you have to feel, but because there is a technical aspect that can create a certain effect, that can affect the time, that can affect matter, and so on, and why and how. So this very deep, this very interesting translation of the ancient approach to the world that come to the mystics, come to the shamanism, into science language, scientific language, for me was amazing, amazing. Today, it's quite normal. A lot of people all around the world, they talk about this connection between modern physics and spirituality, but 30 years ago was not so
Yeah, so mainstream, we could also say. So
the
mainstream.
mainstream was not talking about that. They were completely divided and separated. Falco, in my personal experience, became a bridge between the ancient world and the new world, without conflicts, without division, without distances.
Thank you, Nyomo. Yeah, you want to add something?
Yes.
Yes, let's go.
When I started to work with a group of people that were working, that were developing a model of the spiritual physics with Falco, we also started to teach the spiritual physics. To teach the spiritual physics was important to do a test with him, with Falco. In my case, this test with Falco was more than 1.5 year long, very complex, very I was very, very stressed because of this test. And after the test, at the end of the test, he said, "Okay, Nyomo, you're ready, you can teach, no problem." And I said, "Falco, please," because I spent the last year to prepare myself for this test, studying the spiritual physics, analyzing all the teaching you gave to us, and I understood, I saw that in the model that you are sharing with us, there are many gaps, something not complete. Why? And he said, because it's dangerous. You have to find this aspect for your own, because you are not only here to learn, you're not only here to teach, but you are here to discover. As I discovered stuff, you have to discover stuff. So please start to be a researcher and not only to repeat something that you learned from some other person. It was, for me, a very important lesson in my life, that we need to be researchers, not only repeaters.
Thank you. You
You're
hear me,
welcome.
Nyomo? Yes. Yeah, now I see you again. Yeah, there was a moment of freezing.
Okay.
Exactly. Something like that. Okay, I want to emphasize a thing that you mentioned on just at the very beginning. Um, the ability of Falco of find a channel of communication, let's say the right language with each Damanhurians, that it may have been very different from one to another.
Yes.
So the connection for you with Damanhur and with him, it started with this specific channel. For others, it may have been different.
A different
And
channel.
exactly, and I've heard also from the Italian live stream that we have done that he was very good at that. I mean, part of his, let's say, um, skills and attitude, it was to really find and create a bridge in the connection, different one with each of the people that were part of Damanhur, or let's say close to Damanhur.
Yes. I spend a lot of time in my life to understand how it was possible that Falco was able to use specific different languages for different people, being able always to transmit the knowledge, in different ways, many different ways. What I understood now, today, after 35 years, is that this was possible because of what really reached Falco in his life. In my opinion, in my experience, what I felt was that Falco really achieved the real meaning of life, the real meaning of the knowledge of the human being. It means that if you really arrive to the core of the message, it's very easy to talk about that message in many ways. Because you arrive to the core, you understood the source of a message. You are the source of a message. In this case, like a source like the water, you can escape from the cave from very many different holes to fall down to the valley. It's not a problem because you are the source. Okay, so after 35 years and after I spend more time in my life in Damanhur than before, because I went to Damanhur I was 18. Now I'm 50.
25.
50.
Now you are 25. No.
Now I'm
Okay.
25 two times
Yeah,
plus
exactly.
some. Okay, and so I can say that was very clear that he was a source of a message. So it was not repeating something. It was really expressing something from the source.
From the source.
Yeah.
And Nyamo, can we connect the concept of the source, what we call and many other philosophy call the inner master's voice?
Yeah.
So because I mean, and this is connected to the fact that I'm just provoking, can we all connect to this source? How can we reach this famous inner master source, and what do you feel is important to share right now in this live stream about this concept?
Yes. I think that this question is very important because it's also explaining why Damanhur started to be Damanhur in this way. Why, for example, we chosen to have a master, and what is the relationship with the choice to have a master and with the inner master that you have to express for your own. I really learned a lot from my relationship with Falco about physics and spiritual physics, about this topic that you are touching, because as I already described, as already told about my communication with Falco, Falco always gave to us many aspects to trigger us, without being very carefully, being very careful not to connect everything to give us a complete painting. So the painting was always not complete. Pushing the people to complete the painting. Why? Because the external master has the function to trigger your internal master. If you have a master and you only start to follow the master and you repeat, becoming a sort of copy of the master, you're losing the master. And Falco, for the entire life, he was always very aware about this kind of relationship with all the students, being very, spending a lot of attention in order not to be a comfort zone for the people, saying this is white, and 1 week after saying this is black, and putting yourself in a confusion. Why? Because into the confusion, so melting together, you can find a real answer. So answering without completely answering, in order to push yourself to move. So the inner master is activated because we understand that the external master is only a trigger, is only someone that can, of course, can push you, can give you enthusiasm with many ideas, with many projects. Falco was always putting new projects. I remember the most challenging and desperate moment in Damanhur, when we were all in trouble, very worried about something. He was always opening new stuffs, opening new project. Falco, are you crazy? Now we are in trouble. No. It's important. We have to open something new. We have to always, jump to the next layer, or we will die into this closed fear, a field of fear. In this way, he also stimulated a lot the inner master of everyone. Maybe not everyone, but all the people that they sincerely want to found an inner master, not only to be, connected to someone like a father that is solving the problem on behalf of you. All the people that they go beyond this attitude, they found an inner master. And now we understand together, talking about this in many occasions, the Damanhurians, we understood that the target of Falco was to create a new master that is the sum of all the people, a sort of new species of masters, a master made by many persons, everyone with a specific aspect that it's enlightened, that it's open, but only one aspect. But so you need many others in order to create a group that is a master.
Wow. But this is a very important point, because it's also connect. I mean, it's a new perspective, and it can really open a new, let's say, vision of what we can see as a part of the future of our evolution as humanity. And at the center there is the group. So how can we reinterpret for example, the enlightenment or the spiritual evolution in connection with the fact that now, of course, we're talking about the Falco experience and the Damanhur philosophy. So we are inside, let's say, this field, this condition. How can we rethink the enlightenment and the vision of a future society, starting from the fact that we feel, we believe, and we know, as Falco said, that the group will be the container of higher level of consciousness or of high level of yeah, exactly. Can you tell us something about that? Yeah.
Of course. Maybe we can, in a nutshell, we can say that Falco create Damanhur in order to prepare the next master, and the next master will be a group. Why? Because as we tested after 35 years, in my experience, other Damanhurians for 45 years, the community solution, so to live together every day, sharing your food, sharing your dreams, sharing the problems, the challenges, having constantly every day a sort of mirror in front of you, because the other people are always mirroring you, and you are able to go beyond the fascination to say you are the problem because I don't like you, and you go beyond it, say you are only mirroring a part of me. So if you are able to use the community in the right way, solving the conflicts, understanding that you are the owner, and you have the responsibility of your actions. So in this way, what we understood and what we proved is that the process to the enlightenment is boosted many times.
Mm-hmm.
So the community became an engine that can speed up many times the process to be enlightened. So maybe you can be enlightened in only one life, because the community can speed up all the process, saving a lot of time and a lot of lives that you don't have to repeat again and again the same error, the same experiences, because into the community everything is faster. Of course, if the community is able to process the conflicts,
Sure.
because on the other hand become a nightmare as we test
As we test many times.
many times.
Nyomo. Yeah. I want to
So
connect with.
sorry,
Go for it. Yeah, go.
again, I recap. The Falco approach to enlightenment is the enlightenment is a matter of a group. It's not a matter of a singular path. If you want to become a master, you have to work with other people.
Thank
Very
you, Nyomo.
shortly.
Yeah. To make it on a point. Okay. I want to connect with something that is going on right now in Damanhur. And so I don't know if someone will see this live stream maybe in a far, far future. I don't know if it's gonna work in any case, but at the right moment, so I'm sure for the next year and so on, the project that we call New Life is on. So we are talking about Damanhur as a laboratory where we can think, rethink, create, build a new society. A society that, as Nyomo said, from a spiritual and a social level is helping the human being and is pushing human being toward a spiritual evolution. The New Life program is that program which aims to welcome all the people that are interested into trying a new lifestyle, trying to experience the Damanhur lifestyle, like the real one, getting in touch with our community, let's say with our routines, with our culture, with our philosophy, with the Damanhurians, and so on. So now I'm posting here on the live chat the link into the New Life program. And I want to ask to Nyomo. Nyomo, I'm sure you have participated to the launch of the program of the New Life. I think so, right? In Damanhur. Can you tell us something about the past experience of the New Life program, how Falco launched it, or some stories, even the funny one, about the New Life program, just to let us be in touch with that moment where Falco felt the need to launch such a program, and you, the Damanhurians, has to welcome this adventure of seeing arriving many people wanting to join the Damanhur mission and the Damanhur project.
It seems to be a joke, but this is not a joke. Also, the creation of Damanhur for Falco was the first New Life program. So Falco create Damanhur to create a new life for many people. And after that, Damanhur was founded in 1970. In 79, they started to live in the mill in the capital.
Mm-hmm.
So the first flag started to move in 1979. After few years, he immediately created a new life program for people 83, for young people, in order to change, to put outside of the comfort zone the people that they already became, Damanhurian citizen, still people. So Falco used the New Life program many times in order to put new blood on the system, in order to refresh, in order to uh, put new oxygen. Because imagine that the community is a body, is an organism. He had to survive. He have to grow up. You have to also to develop an immune system. So that must be able to be protected by the external problems. And so you have to constantly create new blood, new ideas. And it's not the people after a few years, they start to have habits. So you
Sure.
have to create a refresh. So Falco used the New Life program many times in order to help Damanhur to grow, and also because um, with the new, sorry, with the new group, after I don't know 5-6 years of young people, you have new idea and you have new way to face the same problems. For example, today we hope that someone of the people that they start the New Life program, they choose to live into the community because they will be very precious, because they can see the same problem we are facing from decades and maybe say, I have a new idea about that. I have a
Yeah.
new point of view. So taking care about the meaning, but changing the model, changing the solution, changing the process. This is the function of the New Life program. It means also that the people that they want to enter into the New Life program, they must consider themselves not like beginner, but Damanhurian in the very first moment they start to come to Damanhur.
Bello.
Because if you are a beginner, you will be a beginner for the entire life. If you choose not to be a beginner and you start, because life, we are, when we start to exist, we are not a big, of course we are a beginner, but we exist. So we have to breathe, we have to eat, we have to be alive immediately. There is not a course or a class in order to birth and to start to be alive. You are alive now. So that's why usually the average of people, I think is if is always the same, is only the 5% of people that they choose to stay, because we are talking about people that are really focused on this, like a mission for their own life.
Thank
That
you,
is
Nyomo.
the difference
Yeah.
between people that they want to live into a state with an economic system, with with a language, and people that they want to live into a people, spiritual people, that is not because of an economic system, it's not because of a common language, it's not because of a common territory, but because of a common mission.
Thank you, Nyomo. What about the message and that Falco left after him connected with this specific topic?
Sorry, I
So
lost a part of your voice. Can you
now, do
repeat
you
it?
feel me better?
No,
Do you
no,
hear me?
I only lost part of your voice because of
Okay,
my
so
internet.
connect with this topic. So we are talking, let's say now, about from a certain point, of course, the past, because this was a program that has happened already many times, but also about the future, because now Damanhur, it's in a moment of rebirth, as always. So,
Three times.
and
As
And
always, as
exactly,
always, as always.
as always, always. No, because I have to share the fact that when I was doing the School of Meditation in Rimini, before moving here to Damanhur, every week, let's say my teacher, my trainer were coming to Rimini and gave us a lesson about the School of Meditation. And
I
every time
remember.
the beginning of the lesson was, in Damanhur there are big changes. There is a moment of rebirth. I said, "Yeah, every week there is a big
Everyone.
change. Every week." I mean, and it was even fun. It became like something. Okay, okay.
And now that you are in Damanhur, I think you notice that every year when the Nial, okay, the governor
Change.
of Damanhur, they do the sum up of everything happened. They say it was a complex year,
It was a
always.
complex.
So we can say it is a complex life.
Exactly. It's part of the tradition at the moment. And I see that there are also some questions on the chat, so we can also see them. For example, Laura pointed out the importance of relationship that could be the next challenge in the world. So creating a high quality level of relationship. And I think this is also part of the new generation of the Damanhurians. For example, me, I haven't met Falco. So I'm here in Damanhur without the experience of meeting him, staying with him, and so on. But I'm here because I feel, as also the others, of course, that this environment can really help me to grow. And I also believe that the relationship are at the core at the moment of this process, because it's part also of the relationship with your inner master. So to find this inner master, you must create outside of yourself an environment, a spiritual gym that help you to reach that point. And Nyamo, I want to ask you, talking about the message that Falco left for the future, uh, what are, from your point of view, some of the most important ingredients or elements that we need to keep in our mind in order to achieve and conquer new level, let's say new, um, better level for humanity? Now I just say it like that, but what could be the focus for the next 10 years, in your opinion, of course, following the message of Falco, in order to help us reach further steps in this journey?
Oh, it's easy. Never stop to dream. We have to continue to dream. And if you don't know how to dream, we have to learn how to dream. Because, there is a very specific and very clear division between needs. So I need to work, I need to eat, I need to, okay, and dreams. Dreams are not needs. And today, all over the world, the people, they are constantly busy with needs. Why? Of course, because the needs are important, but also because the people, they forgot that human being, the specific power of human being is to dream something that not yet exists in order to create it. We are creators because we have the power to create. But to do it, we have to work with dreams. And when I say dreams, I'm both. I'm talking about the dream that you do during the night because you cultivate your and you are able to do it. I know that you um, in Damanhur you do classes, okay, or
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, there is also a school of dreams, but also during the day. Uh, there are many civilizations. For example, I remember in South America, Central America, Australia, where
Yeah.
in the ancient tradition, the day was starting when you were going to sleep, because during the dream you were preparing, designing, shaping, developing the new day. And after during the day when you wake up, you were also expressing what you already designed. But it's a muscle. We have to do it, or we lose the power to dream. So please, sorry, I will repeat it. We have not to stop to dream. That's the message of Falco. Falco spent his whole life dreaming, but also proving to the people that the dream was possible to be applied and become real. The temple of humankind that is uh, in the rear of my room, the temple of humankind is the expression of a dream that became real.
And Nyamo, I want to ask you a specific question connected to this topic because we also face it in the Italian live stream, and I think it was really interesting. And it's about the approach, the Falco approach on creating and launching new project, but it's connected with the dream. So how Falco was dreaming? What was his style from your point of view? How did you see him letting at least the Damanhurian dream about something? What was one thing that you really noticed and it stuck in your mind about his approach and style on creating uh, huge dreams, crazy projects like the Temple of Humankind, or I mean any other that is your mind? What have you noticed that you feel is important to share now with us?
Yes, again, very easy. Falco was a people very busy with strategy, with the power to create strategies. And always, when he was going to present a dream, the year before, the month before, was preparing many aspects, not clearly connected, but very important in order to prepare to create the right worm or to creating the perfect, like to say, the perfect frequency to present a dream. So the dream must be cultivated, detailed, and with also passing a period of secret in terms of not to talk about this idea until the idea is mature to be presented. So you cannot have a dream yesterday and present it today. You have to prepare it, especially if it's a dream that will involve many people. You have to prepare this dream. It's like a baby. We need to spend 9 months to prepare the moment where the baby will become real into the world. Okay, so you have to prepare it. That's why we were talking about dreams.
Exactly. And can we also point about his, let's say, sense of humor, his love for the sense of humor? 'Cause I'm sure he
Yes.
also used it when he was launching project, or maybe in those moments, as you mentioned before, where the Manoro said, "Oh, but we are full of problem," and he said, "No, this is the moment to launch something new." I mean, what about his sense of humor? And if you have maybe a story or an episode that you remember that you want to share, or I mean, just help us to get in touch with the atmosphere of the sense of humor of Falco and that he used in some of the moments.
Yes. Uh, Falco was laughing a lot. Uh, he was human, so sometimes he was upset, of course, like everyone. But Falco was, I remember many times where Falco was laughing, also for aspect that maybe for us they were maybe uh, dangerous. Um, his talent was to found the funny aspect of everything. Many times he also repeated that um, the humor, the sense of humor, is a way to connect the divine. Is a mystic. Is a kind of to express the mystics, um, because laughing, when we laugh, when we are happy, when we when everything is funny, we are learning a lot and spending less energy. In trouble, with pain, suffering, we learn not so much and we spend a lot of energy. So Yes, I remember many times. This moment, I immediately remembered it was a class, a huge class with many people, where we were talking about alchemy, and Falco, to describe alchemy, uh, took a bag of a woman. He said, "This is alchemy." He started to put away from the bag many stuffs, and he said, "Because this is a bag of a woman." Okay. Of course, it was more funny than how he's described it now. But the people. They were all focused on the alchemy, and they start to laugh. And this approach also it's very important because can help us to understand that reality, magic, everything is something that also must be funny, or something is not working very well.
It's part of the magic ingredients to properly cook a magical project or a magical life.
Yeah, one of the dream of Falco was he repeated that again and again many times. I remember very well this aspect because I'm still trying to do that, but not I'm not yet arrived there. Is my one of my dream was saying is that people they grow up as people, they learn not because they are suffering, but because they are happy. It
Bello.
was a dream of Falco. Because, as you know, usually people learn something only because they are suffering. Because the pain is pushing you outside the comfort zone. He said there is also the other model, but for human is not so glamour. This model.
It's super true. It's super true.
If you look at the television and newspapers, the newspaper to sell many copies, they have to put suffering and pain
Sure.
on the
It's
cover.
one of the motion most used in the alchemy of the dailies of today. That's so true, and this is why we are pointing so much on creating groups, environment, community, eco villages, or whatever that can help us to create such a place where new emotions, a new culture. I mean, new values can really grow, and they can have, let's say, the proper soil in order that they can really grow. Yeah, sometimes I do, just to provoke, I make some examples talking about a person living in Milan or in New York. I mean, it's such a big city where you are really pushed into the capitalism and in the fast super life. And how can we really grow, evolve, heal ourselves in a lifestyle that is very far from the nature cycles, nature rhythm, and so on. And actually, I think that one of the answer is always really trying to create, whatever you are, at least a group or an environment or something. This is my point of view, which can give you that energy. It can pump into yourself that kind
Yes.
of energy. Okay, Nyomo, I know, and if there are some questions, I ask to everyone that is connected. If you have questions, just write them now because we have 10 minutes and then we're gonna end this live stream. But we can still see some of your questions. Okay, Nyomo, I know because somebody told me that you were working for the Daily of Damanhur, what we call the QDQ,
Newspaper.
the
Yeah.
newspaper of Damanhur.
I used to be the
And
director for a while.
exactly. And can you tell us
Yeah.
a little bit the importance that Falco gave to the newspaper of Damanhur, and then some episode which you got with Falco through this experience of the newspaper of Damanhur?
Yes. Um, First of all, for Falco, the newspaper was very important. He was the first investor in the newspaper. He pushed a lot to create a newspaper in order to have every day for all the citizens a picture about what is going on the community. It's amazing that a small community can print every day a newspaper with a lot of news. And we are talking about something that started in 1990. Okay, so long time ago. And because it was so important for Falco, when I started working into the newspaper, I started to have a daily relationship with him, because this was every day coming to take his own copy of the newspaper. And he was there many times to also to talk. Sometimes I also tried to interview him, as because he was the founder of Damanhur. Sometimes I was asking for an opinion about the specific news and so on. And yes, there was also a sort of um, um, very funny relationship with him, in terms of every day we were talking about how Damanhur was changing, how Damanhur was growing, and how Damanhur was really being aware about the fact that the information is so important. He also described the newspaper as the blood system of the community. And I know that our trainers, when they do classes to create new communities, there are many Damanhurians that they go all over the world to teach how to found new community. They always suggest when you will arrive to a critical number of people, to open a newspaper, because this become the blood system that exchanging information, you exchange the energy, and in this way the body is always aware about that is a unique body, and they're not divided parts. The funny aspect, this is a very personal aspect. Many years ago, I think it was the 95, okay, Falco went to the newspaper, opened the door, as every day he said, is it ready? And they said, 5 minutes, Falco. He looked at me and said, number 5. Very interesting. And he closed the door. And for many years, I repeated to myself, why he said, number 5. So important, very important. So when I stopped to work to the newspaper, I changed my career. I started to do the developer. From that moment on, I found several hundred of times, I found a direct contact between me and the number 5. Many times. And
Wow.
always I was remembering this moment where Falco entered and says, number 5. Very interesting.
Did you ever ask him if it was meaning something, or you didn't have the chance?
No. I didn't. Yeah. But I discovered that for me the number 5 was very important.
It's very important.
Already now very important. Last week I had another occasion where number 5 was very important.
I want to, as a last question, I want to connect again with part of your relationship with Falco, and I want to ask you, what did he represent into your life? What Falco represent to your life and in your spiritual journey, in order to help us to end this episode with, let's say, a personal experience, and what's the message behind your experience that he really left to you?
Of course, for many years, I arrived to Damanhur, I was 18. I was a young guy, and for several years, for me, he was also a second father. In some way, was a second father. But now, I can say that for me, Falco represents a person that taught me the fact that every person is very precious. he was able to trigger and to appreciate everyone. Everyone. I, I'm really amazed thinking about how he was able to appreciate everyone. Also, with challenging people, he was always looking at something that the person potentially can be, and not only what is now, that has a problem, that is challenging, that maybe is not so is okay. He always found a way to look at the potential of the people and not only what the people is expressing now. So a huge amount of optimisms.
Bello.
Optimisms.
Optimism. One of the ingredients that Falco was pointing a lot, also the optimism.
Yeah. Also, until until he died, he continued to be optimistic in many aspects. Yeah.
Thank you, Gnomo. Thank you.
You're
Okay,
welcome.
I think we are at the end of our episode, and thank you, Gnomo. Thank to all of the people that are watching or will watch this episode. Uh, on the description under this video, you will find many, many, many links about Damanhur, how to visit us, how to follow our programs online, in presence, and just for the people that, just for the right moment, next Sunday, we're going to celebrate the summer solstice, the 16th. And during the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th, there's going to be the first Damanhur Festival. So for those who want to join us next week, is a big opportunity to meet the Damanhurians, to experience our knowledge, to experience our magical territories, and of course, for those who want to celebrate the summer solstice. And you can find all the infos down here. Gnomo,
Yeah.
yes, I saw your finger raising. Yes.
I want to comment to finish
Yeah.
this meeting that this kind of idea to present Falco. For example, 1 week ago, we also had a day dedicated to him with many people from all over the world and many other people, not Damanhurian, that they explained Falco. There, from the point of view of Falco, I think he doesn't like it. Because for the entire life, he preferred not to talk about him, but to talk about Damanhur and the project of Damanhur. So we finally had the chance also to talk about him, and I think it is very important. He always preferred to talk about Damanhur, not to talk about him.
Not to talk about him.
Yeah, I was saying, I'm not so important. It's more important the project.
This is why you can come and to visit us and visit Damanhur and the crazy Damanhurians, because that's always a magical, super magical experience. And okay, thanks to everyone. We're gonna meet next month, first Saturday of the next month, but we will let you know as fast as we can. During our newsletter and so on, we're gonna, of course, announce the right date, also through Instagram and so on. So thank you to everyone. Thank you, Gnomo. Thank you, Entello. Thank to all the people that are following us, and we see next month. Con voi, con voi.
Voi.
Con voi, everyone.